You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our Sex Podcast Collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Horny Housewife podcast. Really short intro today. Welcome if you're new. Listener questions, really juicy, piping hot tea. Kind of feel bad for some of y'all, but for the rest of us, like, we're going to eat that shit up with a spoon. But I'm here to help you. Promise, cross my heart. Short intro because for the topic, I did like a birthday. No, I just added the word birthday, but I didn't ask me anything. I asked you like August something on my social media, said you can ask me anything. It really kind of ended up being like an ask me anything about you or about like a listener questions of sorts. Really kind of sweet. But I started off with like high hopes and excitement, but a lot was covered. So, I mean, pegging my real thoughts and opinions, not holding back, even like dissing y'all's asses. Just kidding. What it's like to be in me being an only girl in an all-boy household. You're like, we don't give a fuck. My favorite sex position, what me and my husband do to get out of a dry spell, and more. So if that interests you, and I maybe partooketh like right before it. So if you love like the stony vibe conversations, then that's going to be for you. If that's not your jam, listener questions it up with me, even though I think you'd love the AMA. And then see you next week. But that's what's in store for today's episode. So get comfy, 10 and 2 if you're driving, a little blanket, a little snack, a little tea, a little drinky drink, a little water, a little lemon water, and a couch. Get cozy. Let's do it. Okay, boy, do I have some listener questions. They're long, they're lengthy, but we need this context. Trust me. I'm writing in as a happily married man of 12 plus years, and I truly feel my wife and I are each other's yin and yang. She's my queen, saved my life when she became my wife. I'm writing in today because I need your sisterly help. She's the girl I dreamed about. From her head to her toes, she's perfect. Like she was designed for me. Okay, we get it. The thing I need help with is how do I, as a husband, help her see herself that way? I know self-esteem is something that can't be totally helped by someone else. It can't. Self-esteem. But I want nothing more than to help. I understand. She's a goddess and I wish she could see me through her eyes. I know she struggles with letting her desires be fulfilled because of the way she views herself. She's made progress and I try to acknowledge the growth, but I can't help but feel like I'm letting her down by not helping more. And I honestly have know what to do on my end. I go to the gym and that's not for her. What she doesn't need to go because mommy's got that yacht. But I don't want to push something like that and her get the idea that I feel she needs it when the real reason is the gym always makes me feel better about myself, and I hope it has the same effect on her. She's a lights off girly in bed, which I supported, and she has grown to candles and even some lights on lately, so she's not totally a lights off girl. But I know she has said she thinks it'd be sexy to see my face and body while we're intimate. I hate that the thing that might be holding her back is that she feels insecure when she has nothing in my eyes to be insecure about. So she said it would be sexy to see her face and body, so what's the problem? I love her body, her yoni, and every inch of her. How can I be the man she needs to help her see what a true goddess she is without making her feel more pressured or like I'm being pushy instead of supportive? Okay, well, that's what you do. You don't be pushy, you be supportive. How do you be supportive? What does supportive look like? If someone's laying it on really, really thick, what do you think? You're like, what the fuck did you do? What's going on? Why are you like overdoing this? Like it could naturally make a person feel insecure, truly. Someone's like excessive, like overly flattering. You're kind of just like, okay, you're so nice, but like, this is like the fifth comment, like, whoa, like something, like what's going on? Do I look weird? Something going on? Like, do you think I'm weird? I don't know. I feel like that any girl would be like, okay, I get it. Now, if you're like during sex and you're being like into it and you're showing interest and it's not just the same, like, oh my God, you're so hot over and over and over again, but that done in the right way when you're having sex, like that is the kind of like, you can keep going. So I think you take advantage of when y'all are making love or fucking, whatever, whenever you show vocally with the animalistic noises, like up your animal noises. So it's like about you and being primal. And she may even be like, whoa, he was like growling and stuff. But like, it seems like a compliment, right? When she's going down on you, being like, fuck, like, you know, like the girlies, don't be all offended being like, you're telling him to say that. Y'all, we do it. And like sex feels really good, right? Like I'm hoping you're having sex that feels really good. And if you throw in like a little extra, you're vocal because you know being vocal is hot and guys love enthusiasm. I'm not blaming you or saying like, oh, you're being fake. So maybe he's asking, how can he hype her up? It's a great way to hype up. When she's done her makeup, she's gotten ready for the day. She just went from woke up her to ready version of her. Notice it. Like notice when she puts any sort of effort and be like, wow, you look really beautiful. Or I really like your hair that way. And just one thing and go about. Don't stay, don't pause, don't linger. Don't say it and like look at her. I really love your, like, you know, go about it like it's just you're dropping the compliment, graze her back. It's like having game, essentially. And I'm not saying you don't have game, but I'm saying that's the aura we're going to want to adapt, is be cool with it. Okay, be cool. Women love like if you moved her hair, like pulled her hair around her shoulder and kissed her neck. And you're like, wait, how are these things building her confidence? It feels really nice to feel wanted and desired. But when it goes to the point where like we feel like someone is trying to do something because they feel insecure about us feeling insecure, then it's like not as hot. It's giving despy vibes. And that can make us check ourselves. I'm like, wow, think about it in the reverse. Like we're not stupid, right? They're not stupid. They can kind of tell when we're being fake and weird, fake and gay, you know? So I think that's what you need to do. Take advantage during intimacy, outside of intimacy, in a chill way. And yeah, I wouldn't say like, you really should go to the gym. And you seem smart. You don't seem like an idiot who would make that comment. Hence, you're like, I don't want to say that because I don't want her to feel this way. If the perfect opportunity arises, which for some reason I feel like pillow talk could be a good place. Please don't backfire. Please don't backfire. To be like, God, I wish you could see you through my eyes. Like that, say that statement. And if she like laughs or like, I don't know, like whatever, you could be like, no, like more than just sex, like more than, I wish you could see you. Oh, you could start it like, I wish you could see what I see when I'm fucking you. And then be like, actually, I wish you could see what you look like at all times through my eyes, because man, you would consider being a nudist if you saw yourself the way I saw you, because you are just, you knock it out of the park, baby. And if she's like, oh my God, stop, then stop, okay? I know most of the time when I say it means stop, it doesn't mean stop. But if you get this sense, if like this is what you do all the time, then stop. Now, if you never compliment the woman, then different story. But for some reason, I feel like you sound like you love her and you cherish her and adore her. So you seem like the type that would let her know that. And that's awesome. And I love that. And she's probably like super grateful. She's probably like, Ben is so sweet. Ben is perfect. Ben says all the right things. It's not him, it's me. And that's the thing. Self-esteem comes from self. So whatever the origin is, doesn't mean her husband doesn't make her feel good enough. That's not what she's thinking. Every girl has insecurities. Every single girl. Every single girl. Every single girl. So you may, well, I know I met this girl at my work and she's so confident. I can't imagine that she'd have insecurities. She just seems like the type, you don't know what you're talking about. She may seem like the type, okay? I promise you, she has her own insecurities. And the people that know what they are about her are her close friends, probably her significant other, and her parents. Maybe, maybe not. But we all have them regardless of how we present and if we're really good at faking it till we make it, etc. So when she complains about something, you can be like, oh man, you're so hard on yourself. Or, we're our own worst critics. And it's so easy to like hyper focus, or we see things under this magnifying glass. And if she's always on her phone, I promise you, that's not helping. And you could say that, be like, man, I don't get how you do that. When I do that, I start feeling like shit about myself. And none of that shit's real. And if she's like, how do you know that? Be like, I saw a documentary on Netflix, TikTok, something. And you might want to, never mind. The Horny Housewife podcast, go listen. But there is, what is it? The Social Experiment? There was some documentary about like phone use and the internet, how much social media like changes our perspective of others and ourselves. But straight up, go to a restaurant, a public place, and look around and remember that shit isn't real and you're way hotter than you think you are. I promise. You're better looking than you think you are. Okay? And if it's backwards, if like you think you're better looking than you actually are, like perfect. Because really all that matters is the narrative in your head of how you feel. That's hotter. Like, please, let's all be delusional. It's not like we're going out and hurting anybody by being delusional. And if someone is going out and being atrocious because they have some delusional complex, someone's going to humble them. So we don't need to worry about it, But that is how you can be supportive and not pushy, is by not being pushy and being supportive. And you're like, bitch, you did not answer I did. Listen back. Listen to it again. And before I move on, to that woman or anyone that relates to that woman or this listener question that might be like, I might be that wife where he's trying to hype me up and it has nothing to do with him and he's getting on my nerves and he's being pushy or like whatever you may think of the situation. Because for some reason, I highly doubt she doesn't think you're supportive. You seem like a supportive guy. But to this woman and to other women who fear they might be in this situation, that their insecurities are showing, I don't want you to feel extra insecure now that I'm like, they're showing. Like, we all have them. Like, what do I do with my hands? We all have them. But it's our job, it's our responsibility to work on ourselves to get to a more secure place, whether it's our attachment style, like a more securely attached person, or it's just like feeling comfortable in our bodies, being able to say this feels good, this doesn't feel good, I'm not getting off, to talk about the sex that you're having, to feel like, oh my God, if there's a little bit light on, because guys, girls, it's nice to have the light a little bit lower, okay? I do not want an afternoon bright light. I'll do it. It's my pride and my ego, I guess, where I'm not going to be all like coy and shy, like, can't do it, there's too bright in here. But am I thinking about my butthole? I am. I'm thinking about everything and just wanting to know that it looks somehow aesthetically pleasing. And I'm like, how could it? How could anybody's look pretty? And now we're going to have it in a bright light. I don't want to see anybody. So why does anybody want to see mine? So, I just think about those things. And I think it's pretty common. Men just flop their wieners out. Y'all's butts are just like this big mystery. This big or little flat or bubble mystery, and no one's going and doing this to your butt cheeks. So we are in the position where y'all are coming up in like an aggressive doctor, like a guy, like you're ready, you're getting in there. in there up close with a flashlight. Okay, that's what it feels like, and you're like, oh. So sometimes girls get a little tense, a little like, So go easy on her, asshole. So if dimming the lights with little candles, that's a little mood lighting. But girly pops, say what we need. Say it. Make yourself. Get uncomfortable. Do things that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable with yourself, like pushing yourself, not someone else pushing you. And you will grow. You will grow. You will evolve. There's growth and discomfort. And the way you're going to build self-esteem is through self. Hype yourself up. Look in the mirror and say things about yourself. You might be like, that's not a true statement. Do you want it to be true? Do you want it? Look in the mirror and say, I am a beautiful, badass bitch. And you can take out bitch, queen, superstar, whatever word you want, okay? You can pick these words that you're like, what would you call, like if there was a really super confident version, what would you call her? When you see a badass girl and you're like, she's a bad, like in your eyes, what do you call her? What do you think of her? Now look in the mirror and pretend it's about you. And if the first, like, no, it's not true. Just say it anyways and do it every day. And I promise you, you know how Stockholm Syndrome starts? You can brainwash yourself. You're able to condition your own mind. This is a true story, I promise. This is science. There's science. I have so many. Read the book Thrive by Zehra Mahoon, okay? I think that's how you say her name correctly. Read that book and get back to me. You can brainwash yourself and rewire some things up there and start viewing yourself through a different lens. And so that's what I want you to me, I feel like I've tried so many ways, listened to so many podcasts, read so many books, tried so many different routes. And the most effective, quickest one I found, because usually like, oh, you can get confident in 30 days. Yeah, right. Think of all, you can increase your confidence in 30 days. You can increase your confidence in 5 days. I don't know about overnight. Maybe. I'm sure there's someone out there that's like, I did it overnight. I'm sure, but I'm like real sustainable where like you're gaining momentum. Like I'm gaining momentum and the train's going faster and faster and faster into the direction of confidence. And things will knock us down and things happen. But if you actually decide and reflect on what you value, and like I struggle with this. I'm working on my own sense of self, on my own filled chocolate bunny. If you've listened to this podcast for long enough, you know what I'm talking about. A hollow bunny, you bite the ear, it crumbles. If it's got nougat, if it's filled, these are my therapist words, not mine. Gotta love Michaela. And you bite the chocolate filled bunny, it's intact. And I love that analogy that she gave me. So what fills me? What's my filling? Like, what do I value? And is what I value something that I just was grown up and taught and instilled to value? Or is it something that I actually give a fuck about and value? And some of those things will come from how we grew up in our family. And we do like that. And we do see why that's positive and impactful. And on a gut level, you're like, yeah, like I want that same thing for my family. And there's other things that happened in our generations in our families. And we're like, why do we do that? I don't like, that's not my jam, but we just did it. And I was told that's the right thing, even though it doesn't really sit well with me, then that's not something that you value. And when you can determine like what you value, what you want, what you like to do, and you can look in the mirror and say positive things about yourself and I think we're all, especially in the social media time, like I'm always like having to check myself before I wreck myself. So the last thing turned out to be like the last 10 minutes, my bad. But you have a responsibility and obligation to do that for yourself. And in turn, that's going to bleed into how you show up as a wife, a mother, and a friend And as an individual, and that's what matters. Invest in yourself, men and women. Okay. Now moving on. Let me give you the lube protocol. Foreplay. Start out with a massage. Derek gets little Uber lube, boop, doop, doop. Uber lubes my shoulders, my back. This is a true story. Uber lube is good for your hair frizzies, where you chafe under your breast, your thighs, and for massages. Okay, so it's not just for the genitals, anal, vaginal, oral massages, hair frizzies, elbows, all the things, because it's silicone. It's a high-grade luxury silicone lube, and it's essentially silicone with a splash of vitamin E. Chef's kiss. Feels great. The longevity. You know, some lubes, you're like, leave it out, and it's like messy, and the top sucks, and then you're trying to use one hand, or it's in the dark. It's awful. Uber lube, I want it out because the bottle's stunning. The glass bottle is beautiful. And the pump is perfect. It dispenses the perfect amount. And I'm like a 3 to 5 pump girly pop. Works really well underwater. Baths, lakes, pools, you name it. And let skin feel skin. Okay, so go to uberlube.com and use code HOUSEWIFE to save 10% on your purchase. That's uberlube.com, or click the link in the episode notes. And don't forget to use code HOUSEWIFE so you can save 10% on your purchase. Got a long one, but it's intense, and we need to buckle up and we need to get comfy because my leg is falling asleep. Okay, move on over. Okay, here we go. My wife and I are in our mid-40s. We've been married just shy of 20 years. We have 4 kids. Previous to my wife, I was in a high school, college, long-term relationship that I completely take credit for messing up. At any rate, my wife, and for most of the 20 years, had a terrible sex life. She was brought up in a home where sex was not talked about. I was her first. We never did any oral play on each other, ever. What a shame. It was always the same. Her on top, me on top. I finish her with my hand. She finishes me with her hand. That's really upsetting, and I don't like that. Except the times when, the kids. We average probably 5 or 6 times a year for most of our marriage. Okay, so I would consider this a dead bedroom, and the fact that everyone's finishing with their hand is concerning me, okay? I wasn't happy with that, shocker, and tried to talk to her about it. It was always a lot of excuses that I did appreciate and understand why she might not want to do it more. I finally just stopped talking about it after 10 years or so and realized that I had my fun with my ex before I got married. Y'all think this question's going one way? You have no idea. Hold on. With my ex before I got married, and I was going to be committed to this relationship and convinced myself to be happy with any sex that I got. I remained completely faithful. Fast forward to a few years ago. Here's where our turn takes. Okay. We moved across the state to our dream property. We have neighbors within walking distance of our house that we got to know. They're the same age-ish as us, and they don't have kids. Ding! We got to know that they are partiers and like to drink. Ding! I have always liked to have a few, but my wife really didn't drink that much. And over the course of a year, we spent a lot of time at their house. Ding! Drinking. Ding! My wife started drinking more than I have ever seen her drink before. Okay, I'll stop. I also noticed that she was paying attention to the guy more and more. She's going to fuck the guy. She clearly caught the feels for him, or the lust for him, or the feels for him. One night of moderate drinking, it was revealed that they are swingers. You don't fucking say. And asked if we ever thought about that. I see a miserable woman. Just kidding. I can honestly say that I've never considered it. Shocker. We didn't really respond and we let it go. A day or so later, my wife actually brought it up and told me that she would be willing to try anything once. Okay, I have to talk to you, sir. A week or so later, we had our first experience. I by no means am attracted to the wife. I really am not. But I noticed how flirty and sexy my wife was with the guy, and that made me happy. Not in a cuck sense. I wasn't getting off on that. But I enjoyed the fact that she looked happy. This is making me sad. We all played together twice. After the second session, we had a sober conversation. The guy brought up that since I travel for work a lot, this fucker, and the other wife does too, this fucker, we are strictly always only going to play together, never apart. Oh, he had a plan. We all agreed to the rules he made. Mistake. You don't let another man make the rules for you and your wife's relationship. Okay. A short few weeks later, I started to notice my wife was hiding her phone a lot. And this is why if you look at the statistics of people, especially when you get out of a dead bedroom situation, you're like this like Hail Mary, like what can we do? Let's swing. It's the beginning of the end. Or that started a while ago and we're fast tracking it. Okay, so wife's hiding her phone. It's always in her pocket or in her hand. That was not normal. We also shared phone passwords with each other, but I never looked at her phone. I don't know if she did look at mine or not. I didn't care if she did, as I have nothing to hide. One day, she left her phone on the counter and I tried to get into it. She changed the password. A week or so later, we were at the neighbor's and she was drunk. I underhandedly asked for her phone to take a picture, but I couldn't unlock it. I handed it to her and casually asked her to unlock it. She didn't realize I did that to get the password. I feel bad about that, but I'm glad I did that. The next day, I looked at the phone and realized they were having a full-blown affair. And my jaw is in place, sir. They were planning dates and meetups when I was traveling or to take the kids to various activities. She took days off work for them to be together. I was hurt because I had asked her to do the same and she told me so many times she could not. A few days later, I talked to my wife about it in a way, and I really asked questions to see if she would come clean. She called me crazy and paranoid and told me to my face she wasn't doing anything. I also asked her a few times in text, and she told me I was crazy to think she would do something like that. I think you need to leave her. I tried to believe her and tried to convince myself I was crazy. That's gaslighting. You need to leave. And you have a part in why this marriage dissolved, no doubt, but I think you should divorce her. The next day, I asked to have lunch with the guy alone. I did the same thing. He told me he would never do that to a friend and said he's sorry if I thought something was going on. What a fuckhead. I confronted both of them with evidence the day after. We were all together and I just came out with it. The guy called me every name in the book and threatened me for the way I handled it. The wife knew about it and was perfectly okay with it. My wife was apologetic and initially put it on the guy and said he convinced her to break the rules. Shut the fuck up. And then tried to put it on me as he made her feel the way she wanted to feel and that I haven't done that in a very long time. Now, no excuse to be a piece of shit, because that's what she was being. She was being a piece of shit. But that is true. That's how she wanted to get fucked. And you weren't fucking her that way. And she thought the sex with you, I'm just in a brutally honest mood. She thought the sex with you was really boring. And she's been fantasizing about being fucked like that. And she was vibing with some guy. And she was in a life's too short to be miserable with Todd. And Todd sucks in bed. And I don't want to leave Todd, but I want to do this really, really bad. That's what happened. And that guy is manipulative and manipulating her and using her. And I bet you she has feelings for him and he's not new. And regardless of it's so not done because this couple's together. We gotta slow down, Jordan. It took me a few weeks to process. This was 1.5 years ago. This all went down. I decided at that time that I'm committed to this marriage. I think you need to be with a different woman. I really do. Okay. And maybe a different version of you will show up. Not that it's someone else's responsibility and how you show up. Like, you're a man. I want you to be more masculine than that. But, okay. At least until my 10-year-old kid turns 18 and all the kids are out of the house. You're showing your kids what a marriage is, what a relationship is. And if you don't think that they'll figure it out later, they will. Since then, my wife has been a horn dog. I think this is like guilt horn dog. She's wanted and sometimes demanded sex every night. She's done things with me she's never done before, ever. And I believe she genuinely wants it. It's like this affair has sparked a new interest in sex, and she's giving it all that she has. All I've wanted for 20 years is hot sex. Now I can have it whenever I want, but I don't want it. Yeah, because you don't feel respected. And it doesn't feel genuine and authentic. That's why. And the change all happened when my wife had an affair. Not to get too graphic, but last night my wife wanted sex. I didn't. Now, as she was rubbing on me, she said, "I want you to come in my mouth." And we have never done that. She has never said that, and that was never, ever an option. When she said it, it was an immediate turnoff. Why is that? Because I think that's pretty common. And so for some reason, I can't help but wonder and be curious why you have a wall up with sex, because that is pretty typical. Like, that's not crazy. And I don't know the age range in which I'm talking, but like, there are definitely 65-year-olds too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think this is an age thing. I think it's a how you grew up thing and what you've experienced. So you were turned off, you told her no, you turned over and went to sleep. And so I feel like this like cycle you're in is like perpetuating her longing for something else where she feels desired and feels compatible with her sexual partner. And you are all done fucked up from this affair and this mind fuck of this like sexuality and your role in it. And I think you need a clean slate. How effed up is this whole situation? It's effed up. Did I fall out of love with her? What do I do? I think y'all need professional help. Like, help I can't offer you. I think that you need to go. And that's the thing, is I can be cynical about therapy too, because there are people that have gone and been like, it wasn't for us, it fast-tracked our divorce. But then it's like, okay, we're all going to get divorced anyways. Sometimes you need a third-party perspective, and I'm being one right now to like get some radical honesty happening. And it sounds like y'all need to have a radically honest conversation. You need to be like, hey, you remember when you said that, like, when the affair came out, that I haven't been giving you what you wanted? Like, let's go back and like look historically. Like, this is how much sex, how little sex we were having for a long time. And when we did, this is what it looked like. And you know, now I'm like, you know what? I could see how that was really underwhelming. And you started wanting more. And then the perfect storm occurred. And then this happened. And I felt deceived, betrayed, gaslit. And maybe, you know, from her POV, she can see like, just because you were not fucking her the way she wanted to be fucked, she's probably, even though she had piece of shit behavior, is still probably a person who was like, he didn't deserve that, and he loves me and means well, and this is what happened. But are you salvaging something that it's just a womp 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 where it feels like a lose-lose for both of you? It kind of seems like it. Kind of seems like this ends up being a lose-lose. Even for the kids. I know that's like, that's not my place. But I think that professional help and possibly a new wife. Hate to break it to you, and I'm so not that person. But did you fall out of love? I think you're hurt. You're really hurt. And some things are so broken that when you put it back together, you're still cutting yourself short. I know that's messy and there's no quick fix, and it's not like, oh, okay, well, thanks, Jordan. But I just think you deserve more. And I don't think she deserves more, but it just doesn't seem like you're very compatible. if that makes sense. And some people view sex like water, food, sleep, sex. And if the other person like doesn't at all, it usually ends up with a very like unfulfilling, hostile stress cycle. So that's my 2 cents. If you want to write in to the Horny Outside Podcast, go to thehornyoutsidePodcast.com and click Ask Anonymously. I had a ton of questions sent in, but I've been yipping for 30 minutes now. Follow me on social media at THHPod. We're going to get into the Ask Me Anything. It's more listener questions, basically. Only a few are like, what about this in your life? So you'll like it, I promise. Stay tuned. Stay comfy. Let's get into it. Ask Mommy Anything has to be done. A little blizzy blazed. A little blizzy blazed. A little blizzy blazed. Want to talk about me? Want to talk about I? Want to talk about number one? Oh my, me, my. What I think, what I like, what I know, what I want. I like talking about you, usually. All the time. But occasionally, I want to talk about me. I want to talk about me. You know what? That was for my birthday. So if that pained you, if you hate me, if you're, that would just consider that your birthday gift to me, okay? That I got to do that. And if you like want to like really, go the extra distance for my birthday, you can listen to all the ads in full, okay? Just your ears. That didn't cost anything. And I know there's a little cunt out there that's like, she's saying that song again. I got some review or someone said something somewhere, some comment on email. Sometimes I get a rude email. Have there been people who are OG listeners that have given me constructive criticism? If you think, I'm not talking about you at all. I love you, appreciate you. That's what I need. Like, that's you being a sister, a brother to me. So never that. It's so if you're thinking, oh, I hope I'm not talking about you. I love you. I need you. I want you. It's the people that are like rude and hateful. So I'm going to match that energy. If you're watching on YouTube, the sun is coming in and breaking through the blanche. So my bad. There's someone that was like, I hate when she like says certain words and she gets on if it was this and now it's kiki. What? When's the last time me and you were kikiing right now? And for that to bother you that much, to go leave a negative, to be like, 1 star, that's a PP. That's a personal problem that now you felt the need to word vomit and share. Make a podcast. You should start a podcast instead. I dare you. I double dog dare you. You should do that instead of being a little troll hater biatch. You're vibing out negative energy, and that's what you're going to get back. That's what you're going to get back. So, sounds like a bad time, and it sounds like you're a cunt. That's what I think. Okay, so since I want to talk about me, we're doing an Ask Me Anything. I asked you, when did I ask you? On August 18th. I did a poll saying, ask me anything, because I knew at some point I would be able to use this. And here we are, alas. So I got some questions. We won't get through them all, but we'll do a few. You're like, thank God, shut the fuck up. Listener questions. But for the real ones, let's kiki. How many times per week do you and your husband have sex on average? Ooh, you know what? Can I tell you something that grinded my gears? Or no, it made me feel jealous. Okay, let's just out myself. It made me feel like, when will people recognize that I'm having this conversation over here? But really, whose fault is that? I mean, mine, right? Mine. I guess hard work doesn't automatically equate, it doesn't, success. Because there's people that work really, 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 really hard and sweat, and like there's people that do physical labor, blue collar work, and they work their asses off. And we don't see them that equate. I guess it depends on how you define success. Doesn't equate to financial freedom. Doesn't equate to someone who isn't working that hard at all. They're delegating. I think that comes in handy. A person who is able to delegate, outsource, put it all together, and scale it. I think that's how you become successful by my definition. I don't know. So that's on me. But I heard Alex Cooper say, like, she's talking about how often her and her man have sex. And they're like, what? Newlyweds? Which is like, share your story. There's someone listening that's been married 20 years that's listening to me and be like, Jordan doesn't even know. She's been with him, what? A decade? I got 3 over here. So it's all relative. So more power to her to share her experience and talk to other women that are in her shoes at the time experiencing something similar to what she's experiencing. They're kind of on the same page, same chapter, if you will. I mean, we can't all relate to the 1%, but as far as like relationship, time length, navigating what that entails. She's like, sometimes we have sex once a week. Sometimes we have sex 4 or 5 times a week. Sometimes we go a couple of weeks. Or like saying that there is no number. Stress doesn't usually equate into her wanting to be intimate or climax. And then all the comments were like, and this was just a TikTok I saw. I saw a TikTok. Oh my gosh, no one's talking about this. I'm like, me, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it. So if you want to go on TikTok and every time you see that, be like, I know a girl. Her name's Jordan. She's really weird, but she is talking about it. So yeah, here we are talking about it. If I had to give it an average, I'd say twice a week. Or am I doing all the math? Yeah, 2 to 3 times a week. That's honest. That's transparent. That's not, some people think, oh, she must be having sex every day. No. We're not going to go a week without it. That would be not typical. Maybe 1 week out of the year. Will it be like, it's been 8 days? And that would be outside factors. I wouldn't just usually inundated. Like, it's not happy. Anytime I think about that time, it's like a time where I'm crying crying every day because I'm overwhelmed, or something that he's navigating is really overwhelming. But I think both of our bodies by that time really want to experience it. Now, let's talk about the difference of maintenance sex and passionate rip your clothes off sex. That's different, right? Ebb and flow. And I wouldn't look at that at a week by week basis. I would look at that, the light shining on me is really bothering me. I would look at that as season by season, if you catch my drift. And again, outside factors. And sometimes it looks like we had maintenance sex. We had sex for maintenance sex. Can you relate to this? And then that made us more in the mood to do it a few more times the next day and the next day. That for some reason, it's like the one time kicks off and it's like the next day after, you're more horny than you were for the first time because you're like, oh yeah, I love that. Why don't we do that all the time? So there you have it. I feel like I've shared that before, but I would say a pretty average, probably above average. I think the average is once a week. If you wrote down how many times the couple did it, this is what you will see when you Google it. Like, how much sex does the average married couple have? I think it was like 51.5 times per year, which averages out to like once a week. So I would say, if you aren't, this sounds terrible, like there is no number, what works for us? And that's true. The traveling couple, the 2-career couple, the depressed couple, the couple that fucking hates each other. No, there's different scenarios, right? The military couple, whatever it is. But I think if you're just kind of like, no, we see each other pretty regularly, and it's like maybe once a month, I think that would be an indicator that it is time. There's a big high chance that someone is unhappy with that scenario, if not both people. You heard the listener questions already. that it's time to shake it up. It's time for both of you to listen to this podcast and possibly get a therapist, okay? Read, get a book, outsource knowledge, because what y'all are doing, this is what you're getting. And I know you're capable of changing your actions to get a different result. Next question. This is like listener questions, but I get to talk about myself. Someone asked me, what pubic hairstyle are you rocking? And I would think that that's like normally really inappropriate and rude and creepy, but I don't, because the nature of this show and my brother would not ask me that. Maybe my sister would. Let's check. Are you my sister or my freak of nature brother? Freak of nature, not my brother. Well, I've said Bush is back for a reason, and that's my husband's preference, and he likes to think that I do that for him. But it's really because I have now embraced this lazy lifestyle of I am not kidding. I'm not kidding. He doesn't say, oh yeah, that's fine by me. I love it. I like, sure, babe. That's what I like anyways. No, it's not like that. It is like, this is what I want. Go. I want it like, just like just let it totally go. And I'm like, I'm about to be in a bathing suit. My hair is really bothering me. I'm about to be, you shouldn't look in the viewfinder. I'm about to be in a bathing suit this weekend. We're going to a hotel that has an indoor pool for my birthday because it's cold here. That's why. And I'm not going to have out the sides. It makes me think of that girl that works at Barstool who does like the prank the joke where it's like she comes up and talks to men with a full faux bush and they're reacting. And I think some of them, I think a small percentage think it's real. But most know it's a prank because it's like, come on. And I literally think my husband thinks that's hot, like thinks that's sexy. I'm like, oh no, I haven't shaved. I have a little like stubble out here in my bikini. He's like, I love that. Like, you just heard that listener question a couple of weeks ago. He was like, no cheese grater, please. And so then I spiraled and was like, do you think my vagina is really ugly or something? Like, I've never been self-conscious about it. I felt like very like, there was nothing really exciting. It was just there. And it didn't, there were times when girls pulled their pants down when we were younger and you would go, oh, I didn't know they could look like that. That's terrible. And I shouldn't have said that. It's only because it's not yours. It's like curly hair, straight hair. It's like, this is not a diss because they're all beautiful, duh. And men, they'll take all of them. It's like pizza. But if you're only used to seeing what you have over and over and over and over again, it's like boobs. And it's because we're jealous. We're like, oh, we don't have those. I didn't have those. I was like inverted, literally. And mine look really real, but they're not. But they look so real. And I had to live most of my life self-conscious, hating them, like, why God skipped me? And for so long, I was like, my mom had giant boobs and they looked so real. And I was like, mine will come. They'll come. Look at my mom. They'll come. She was like, sweetie, we have to talk. Daddy bought these. Your father bought those for me. I cried for 2 days. Just kidding. I wonder if they think I'm on the phone. There's people in my home. There's contractors in my home. And I wonder if they can hear me and if they're like, who's this bitch talking to? Nobody. Kidding. Everybody. Do you ever miss the woodlands? Who wrote that? And I don't know who this person is. Because they don't have a profile picture. Or it's like a building. Yes, I miss it all the time. I just went back to Texas and like drove by and thought of it and oohed and awed, and I miss it so much. But I know it's full of cougars that could make you question your whole identity and want to book plastic surgery. But there's lots of good parts. So if you just like, don't let that faze you, which means work on yourself and go to therapy. What is something that has surprised you about the people that write in? The audacity, because if they're just normal questions, I'm not surprised by people's vulnerability. That's the whole point. I'm pleased by it. I admire it. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for it, but not surprised. The only thing that ever surprises me is people's stupidity and the audacity some people have to type what they typed. And then some people that I'm literally like, did you take an Ambien and close your eyes? When was this Helen Keller? Did Helen Keller type this? And so that, sometimes that. Would you ever start an OnlyFans? Never. I would never. I wouldn't even think about, I wouldn't go, you know what, no, I would never. Sometimes I get offended that I'm even asked that. But I guess I shouldn't. But literally, I feel like, and maybe you disagree, and I understand where you're coming from, but I think the raunchiest thing about it is the title. And you're like, have you listened to the content back, sweetie? But I understand some of the words, or maybe we could use a different word. But I mean, it is real life. It's a certain topic. It's a niche. It's an adult conversation. But really, the title is what I think leaves question mark. In COVID, we were all a little, our social skills reverted in COVID because not by choice, not by choice. And depending on what state you lived in, depended on the severity of what happened to you, truly. I live in Washington State. That's where I was in the time. And that I'm still here. But it was horrible. It was horrific. And I think all of us got a little cuckoo. And so if I would have made the name 2 years ago, I think it would have been different. And I don't regret it because it has such meaning. It has such meaning now, the lore. I've gone through the spiral of rebranding and what am I going to do? What am I going to call it? And then I get inundated like, no, you can't. There's some people that are like, yeah, you should. I totally get it. And then there's other people that are like, do not do it. And maybe because they paid thousands of dollars to trademark the name that I'm like, that one hurts. But really, we want to be like abundant and say, drop in the bucket, bitch. That's the vibe. Moving on to the next question. Is it normal if the best sex you've ever had is not with your spouse? These are not Ask Me Anything. They're Ask Me About You. Is it normal? I mean, what is normal? I guess that I wouldn't find that to be something strange. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's wild. But I do think that should be the best sex only because I would hope that you're with that person long enough or that's the longest relationship you've ever been in. And so you have gotten to know their body like the back of your hand. So you know their cum buttons, you know their erogenous zones, you know what turns them on, you know what they like, you know where they're, all the things. So that's what I would be hoping. So that maybe it didn't start out as the best sex you ever had, but it evolved into the best sex you ever had, where you can feel free to express all of your desires. That's something that I really value. And I'm like, I have never felt as confident to just say whatever I wanted to say in the bedroom like I do with my husband. So there's that, Here we go. What is your honest take on pegging? It's obviously not masculine, but I'm intrigued to try. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if you threw in the obs, it's not masculine. I mean, yeah, I'll talk to you like your sister. Yeah, I think that is beta E. But then again, stop it, Jordan. Stop. I don't want to ride the fence. I want to just be totally unfiltered with my opinion. That's all that is. It's just an opinion. That's all it is. So open to have whatever opinion and completely disagree with me. Just my opinion. I kind of want you to like know the root of it. Like, is there a part of you? Like, maybe, like, to me, I can't wrap my head around why that wouldn't equate to that. Maybe you really do enjoy prostate pleasure. Like, that feels really good. But you're taking it from like a prostate massage to anal plug to dildo. Like, pegging is like full on. Pegging is like having a man have sex with you. So it's like, I can't help but be like, maybe you're gay. Maybe you're bisexual. And I mean, some people be like, but really it's like, actually, you might be gay. So that's how I think of it. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it just might be telling. Like, where did this desire originate from? Did it originate from porn? Did it originate from anal stimulation? Did it liking anal stimulation does not mean you're gay. You're like, you just said it is. No, I think having your ass penetrated, this isn't a raunchy podcast, with something that resembles a penis is gay. So there's that, because that's different than just I like prostate stimulation. Yeah, that's like y'all's male G-spot. That's not gay. But you wanting something that is like a replica of a penis that's gay. It's a little faking gay. Okay, so there's that. That's just my thought. You asked my opinion. Yeah. Why do you think you have sexual freedom? Meaning you're open-minded sexually. Why do you think? And am I? I mean, I guess to an extent I am, but like, I'm in a monogamous relationship and have no desire to not have a monogamous relationship. But I'm a never say never. Is that kind of girl? But like, I know what works for me, what I think my relationship would be like, how we would be successful, and boundaries and opinions and desires and fulfilled. And so anyways, I think anybody could get, you heard the listener questions, to a point where like you're curious and that curiosity can really, really be consuming. And to each their own. So open-minded in the way that I can really hear someone's story and preferences, and without judgment. I may think like that wouldn't work for me, or statistically speaking, that might be unsuccessful. But like, I would never think a person like, oh, they're so wrong. Like that. That's not my place to say that. I might be like, they're fucking around and finding out. And I don't know. I haven't been in their shoes. So I guess open-minded in the way that I'm open to hearing all the ways. And I think it's very interesting in understanding the origin and the type of people and their culture, their lifestyle, and how it's literally, it really is the people you'd least expect sometimes. It really is the people you go, no way. Oh my, I would not have guessed. I would not have guessed that y'all are like that a little bit. So there are those people, and more power to them. All that matters is the two people in the relationship, they're in alignment. That's all that matters. But you didn't ask that. You said, why do you think I have? I just thought it was interesting that that's your perspective, that I have sexual freedom. I don't know. I guess I just like wouldn't classify it that way. I think anybody that is, and I can be such a judgmental bitch, but in that department, just have like understanding like human nature. But here's the thing is like, and when I heard the statement, it's like, it's not natural to be monogamous. Like, that's not like human nature. Like, our desires would be to like spread my seed, I get that. But then it's like, we don't behave like animals. Like, we don't go around and like beat our chest and swing from tree to tree and murder the other animal. Like, we don't act like animals. We're civilized. So when we say like, that's the animal kingdom, that's the primal way, like we're civilized. So I think I understand monogamy and its purpose and its intent, and it takes effort and hard work like any long-term relationship, with anybody, whether it's a lover, a friend, family, all of it. You got to water that shit, all of them. And just like different plants need different care, same with different relationships. But like, I understand monogamy's purpose. And I think if you did go look at the stats, you would be like, oh, those other ones seem to like drama. Have you watched Couples Therapy? Drama. Okay, next question. How do you offer support for guys who struggle with ED and PE? Offer support. Have you listened to this podcast? You know, this was a question submitted on social media. So maybe they're new. Maybe they don't listen. Some people follow me on social media and just like, oh, there's a podcast? Yeah. So what you could do, I'll just like, for my OG listeners who are like, there's an episode for that. There is an episode for that. So dear listener, ask me anything. I said ask me anything. The archive, baby, the archive. But just off the top of my brain, I understand. I want to validate you. You probably don't want to go to a doctor. Maybe you have gone to a doctor, which recommended. Could be a good experience, but it could be disheartening. It could be a bad experience. You could feel shitty. You could feel like you get the run of the mill. I could see from all sides, like in the doctor side of just, doing something repetitive. There are some doctors who it seems like, they're just been doing it for a long time, saying the same thing, blurring, grouping people together, generalizing when there's like so much more to the story and so many factors. And there are good doctors out there, but I understand people who feel like not seen, not validated, what's going on, and want real solutions to real questions, to real problems that lots of men are experiencing. So I guess I'd want to know, like, how much porn do you consume? Has it always been a thing? Are you a person who you would say really gets in your head a lot? Like, are you mentally, like, if you mentally fuck yourself, if you're like, yeah, I'm kind of anxious, I worry, like that can have a direct correlation. Like the cortisol, the stress, taking away from the blood flow to your dick. So there's that. So I think finding the root or what you might suspect be an issue. And if it really is like, you're like, I do not know. Like, I don't think I'm getting in my head at all. I mean, it doesn't help now that I have this problem. That's when I'd really want to like get blood work done, see what my testosterone's at, find out more options that I can't offer you. I don't have the credentials. I don't know. I just don't know what I'm talking about. But be resourceful. There's the internet. Porn, if you're overusing porn, cut out the porn. See if that helps. Reddit could be a cool platform. It could also be really harmful and destructive. But it's fun. It's a fun place too. PE. It's that just like ED. Sometimes they go hand in hand. My only thing I don't want you to do is I really urge against you getting on an SSRI to combat these issues. I feel like please exhaust every other option before doing that. And then also do your homework and knowing like what comes with being on an SSRI, which kill your libido. Cool. Among many other things. But PE, you got to give Popstar, you got to at least give it a try. So Popstar, they have their supplement that it's third-party tested, doctor formulated, increased semen load, volume size. That's like fun. It supports overall semen health. So we're doing something good for our body. So that Popstar, maybe you don't know, maybe you do. They have a delay spray now. And so you spray it on, you leave it for like a minute or two, let it like dry down, and let's go. So we're not affecting our partner in any way. It's just there to do its job, not kill sensation or take away from this experience. worth a try. popstarlabs.com/horny housewife. That'll get you 20% off, or click the link in the episode notes. Among many other things, cock rings. I didn't know that they were supposed to go at the base, like underneath the balls. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Like, oops, you've been doing it wrong. So that's embarrassing. That's not on brand. Maybe there's more than one way. Maybe there's more than one way. A penis pump. I've talked about those many times. And spanking it before you wanking it. Horrible advice. That is what you would hear in the locker room. But if you really struggle from PE, maybe let one out of the chamber. But there's so many factors that you just don't know. That makes me think of the movie There's Something About Mary. And he went to do it, and then the jizz was there, and then she used it as hair gel. Remember that movie? Great movie. If you haven't seen it, if you are younger than me, which I don't think anyone younger than me listens to this podcast, but if you are, go listen to it. And if you want to try Popstar, don't forget the link is in the episode notes, popstarlabs.com/horny housewife. Check out their delay spray, the supplement, support overall semen health. Maybe visit your doctor. Maybe get resourceful on the internet. It's a wild place. Your sister said to do it. Not your doctor. Your sister said to do it. And there's all kinds of support. There's 251 episodes that are dedicated to that. So, not here. Next. Y'all are not, like, I'm never doing an Ask Me Anything ever again. Ever again. Why and how practically a thicker penis is better than a thin? Is this real or myth? What about a micro? Like, this turned on you. It's okay. That's what this is for. That's what this podcast is for. Just humbling me, reminding me that y'all don't give a fuck. And that's what this is for. I'm here to educate and entertain. So just reminding me of my place. Yeah, because thin sucks. We don't want a tampon in us. I'm not trying to fuck around with a pencil. Okay, so there was your honest answer. He was like, I didn't want brutally honest. I wanted it sugar-coated. Why and how is a thicker penis better? Girth, baby, girth. If we pushed a baby out, you think we can feel your tampon dick? We can't. And a micro one, like, why do I have to waste my breath by stating the obvious? Like, how can we compare it? Do you want... I don't think there is a comparison. A vagina that you can't feel that when you inserted yourself in. As a woman, I'm like, I can't believe I would offend my own kind like that. Like, what if she has a wide set vagina? Okay, she just needs a real man. Just kidding. Just kidding. But... you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't feel as good. And that's just the fact of the matter. I'm sure a man with a micro penis uses toys, like has things so he can provide pleasure for her. Because whether she loved that man or not, it's not doing the job. So you'd have to supplement. We're not going to sugarcoat and say it does. What's your favorite sex position? Thank you. You know, it varies. Sometimes it changes. I think I used to say doggy for aesthetics. Like, I swear to God, when I said that it was doggy, we lived in a home where there was like a mirror like right in front of the side of my bed. And so it was like I could really like have that visual connection. Interesting. And you can always you have your hand, so you have like access, and like he has access to some place like with his hands, and great, visually pleasing for him. If you look back at it, visually pleasing for you, but it can change. It can change. You know, like lately, like truth be told, the most pleasurable, I would say, on top. And I can't believe I'm ever saying that because I don't like getting that leg workout, or I'm winded. I'm winded. I'm out of breath. So, and when you can tell I'm out of breath, can you rotate me? Can you do one of those hot spins where you roll me over? Because I'm getting a Charlie horse. And then missionary always. See, I sound like such a boring girl, but really, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. What did you and your husband do to break out of a dry spell? Okay, let's entitle a dry spell not just going without sex, because I feel like Derek and I are the kind of people that whether it was like we felt super connected or not would for like the physical part of it, like as a reconnecting way, maintenance sex things. But there have definitely been times where I have felt like not on the same wavelength. Like life is lifing and I'm inundated and overstimulated, and he is inundated and overstimulated by things that I don't need, like workplace things. And then he comes into his home and, oh, you know what I'm saying? So I can see when more effort has to be applied. And then sometimes when it feels like the last thing you want to do, you know? Like now you just want to like veg out, doom scroll, and eat Nutella with raspberries. Like that's what I've been wanting to do lately. Go get in a hot bath, not invite anybody. But you know what? I've never regretted not inviting my husband. So that's when somebody needs to call it out. Somebody's got to say something and say, hey, I recognize roommate phase alert, and like, some people say that like 3 months in. I say that literally 5.5 days in. So truly, he'll be like, she does. And get on it. Can I meet you for lunch? Let's go somewhere here. Derek like, hey, Ryland's coming over today. Let's go hit 9 holes and go to dinner as a family. So we get away for, 2.5 hours. Like just doing those little thoughtful things of stealing you away for a second. I know we don't all have the luxury of that. If you have small kids, keep holding on, keep the faith, keep trudging, please. I beg of you. And you will get to a point where you can leave those little shits at home. You can. It'll be allowed. And and if you can't, you can. Okay? I know you're tired after the kids go to bed. I know, make them go to bed earlier. Just kidding. But you could be intentional. Like one night, be like, you know what? We're going to actually stick to bedtime. 8:30, 8:15, 8. Just kidding. Depending on their age. Some people could put their kids by like 7:30. And I'm like, that's rude. But no, probably not. Not for the littles. But I don't think we've ever been a 7:30 people. I think like 8 has been the bedtime for his whole entire life. No, he goes to bed like 8:39. But past 9, like, what are you doing out of your room? What are you doing? This is Friday. Okay. Find some time to be alone. Even if you can't, you're like, we can't perform, we're beaten by 9:30. Just put your fucking devices down, sit on the couch, drape your legs over him, give her a back rub, and just check in. Like, just do things that not just friends, roommates, teammates, partners, like when you're taking on life and you're amazing team, amazing builders, blah, blah, but you got to like be lovers too. You can't forget. Some people aren't in the mood to have sex, but if you do like a make-out challenge, I've talked about that before, like challenging yourself to just make out. And I think it was like a 10-minute challenge. That's like really long. If you like really feel out of it, make it a 3-minute make-out. I bet you that 3-minute make-out turns into a 5-minute make-out. By the end of the week, it'll be a 10-minute make-out. So doing things like that where it does require intentionality and you never regret it. Play Uno together, for fuck's sake. Play putt-putt. Don't go to a movie, okay, unless the movies are far and you talk the whole car ride there and back. Just do things. And if you really have to, do it when your kids are at school. Meet for lunch. I said that earlier. But if you have to find the daytime, both be irresponsible and call out of work. That's so immature, but much needed. I call it a mental health day. And not everyone has the luxury of doing that. But if you do, if you can be a sneaky little fuck and you can get a paid time off day, you're like, I get salary. I can miss a Tuesday because my child's projectile vomiting, wink, wink, wink. Do what you gotta do. And be like, I'm taking the kids to school. Stay right there. We're staying in bed together, watching movies, having sex, ordering food, and then picking those little boys, girls up from school. And woo, we're going to feel way better. I dare you. Be naughty. Live a little. Okay, last but not least, because we're taking up lots of time. What's it like being the only girl in the household? So I picked this as my last one because there's gotta be people out there, like husbands who have a wife and all girls, wives who have husbands and boys. So regardless if it's boy mom, more than just boy moms are gonna be able to relate to this, because there's plenty of people who are outnumbered. Maybe you're just outnumbered. And here's what I'll tell you what it's like. I mean, there's lots of cool things, right? Like it keeps me young. Does it keep me young or does it suck my fucking soul? I'm not sure. I think both. But no, let's say it keeps me young and sprightly. When I hang out with my sweet nieces, though, thank God for them, I get to do the girl things. And I'm like, oh, like sometimes I get that little baby fever of wanting a girl. But I'm 36 now. And I want to be proud of that. Like, I believe in getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Like, it's true. Like, I have never seen more, like, hot 50-year-old women ever in my life than you do now. Like, there's so many of them. So, lots to look forward to. And the confidence is unmatched. The sense of self is unmatched. And so, love that for them. Love that for my future. Love it. So embrace it. We get wiser, we get sexier. Like, that's the truth. Not hot, sexier. Because sexy isn't just like just visual. It's not just the outside appearance, nothing else. It's the whole vibe. It's the whole aura. It's like an outfit. You wear the fucking outfit, not the outfit wears you. You make it what it is. If you are confident in everything that's super fucking baggy, no structure, and you're a fashion bitch, it's chic as hell and you look good and you're sexy in any fucking thing you wear because it's your vibe, your energy, and how you show up in it, whether you say a word or not. And then let's add on a dope personality and you're funny. You are sexy. You are sexy. In my opinion, like in the girl's eyes. I know guys might have different standards. They're like, she talks too much. She's annoying. Okay, I'm very annoying. But like in the girl world rating, like a funny, confident girl, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You still see the TikTok of the girl that got arrested and was singing, "Do you believe in magic?" Please, please, please go look it up because I want to be her best friend. But to all the boy moms, the girl dads, the people that are outnumbered, I know there's a time, like let's just acknowledge it, okay? Not sugarcoat it, that there is a time that I feel isolated, outnumbered, and misunderstood and not seen and just like everybody's grossing me out. Everybody's farting. Where's everybody's manners? My mom just rolled over in her grave. Get me to the fucking South so everybody can know what manners look like. What the fuck is going on? Like, I have those moments. And then I have to think about what I'm grateful for. But then I have other moments that are, I can't picture it any other way. And how much it's shaped me into the woman that I am today, and how much I look forward to all the things that make my head spin, but then I try not to think about them becoming men, the young, like, too late, it's already happening. Young men, one day dads, one day husbands, one day like men, grown-ass men. And right now, my little 8-year-old boy, sometimes he scares the shit out of me, but he's so funny and he's so smart, so curious. What is another word? Driven. Stubborn driven is what we call that. He's my whole wide world. But just because he's my whole wide world and my why and my purpose, all the boys, all the men in my home and my father and my brother, they're my why. a big why, a large percentage of why in my life. Light, joy, purpose. They also drive me nuts sometimes too. And they also make me want to rip my hair out too. And sometimes you're craving a little estrogen. For some reason, my desire to not want to start over, maybe you'd call that sulfur, is greater than my desire to bring in more estrogen into my home. And maybe the reasons, if I really explained them, they would actually be selfless. So it is what it is, and we'll survive, and we're cooler because of it. And we are their queen, and girl dads, you are their king, okay? You are looked at in such this, you may not see it, you may not get all the props that you deserve right now. It may not be said to you. They may not even know how to articulate it. But one day, all of our kids, regardless of their gender, are going to look back, unless you're like literally the worst in the world, are going to look back and be like, thank you. I love you. And maybe they'll even feel a little bit bad for being a little big shit to you, you know? And then maybe maybe my son will just have 17 daughters and I can go, you know? So that's how I feel about it. Love you all. This was fun. Guess what I did for my birthday? I guess I'll tell you next week. But since we're manifesting, I went to the Allison Inn and Spa. That was for real because it was booked. And I had the bestest time. I drank wine. I had a delicious, amazing farm to table, chef's kiss, top-notch food. I drank wine. I laughed. I danced. I had sex. I had great, beautiful, passionate lovemaking with my husband. We spa'd. We reset. I got a little break from real life and got to just unwind and vegetate and revel and just turn the clock back. It was Benjamin Button weekend. I came back and I looked younger. It was so weird. So that's how my weekend went. And I will see you all next Monday with a recap. If you want to write in, go to thehornyhousewifepodcast.com. See ya.